Hey guys, Matt from Eastwood. Today we're going to do a quick little half an hour, 1 hour project that you can do at home to make something look a lot better. And one of my favorite things to do in these short little projects is fix up swap meet find hubcaps. So when you walk around a swap meet and you're looking for parts, if you're anything like me, you probably buy onesie twosies of stainless hubcaps that will match a set together over a period of time. You can put together a set and you have a nice set of hubcaps for your project or something you can put together and then take out to the swap meet and sell for a lot more. So the quickest way you can make a set of stainless hubcaps look a lot better is use your Eastwood buff motor with a series of buff wheels and compounds, and you can make these things for one hubcap probably in about half an hour to an hour, depending on the severity of the damage. You can make a hubcap look 1,000 times better. So what we're going to do today is take one of these hubcaps. These are two matching hubcaps. We're going to take this one and I'm going to show you. I've already knocked a little bit of the damage out with a hammer and dolly just to knock any major dents or damage out of the hubcap, and I'm going to show you how you can take it through the process using the buff wheel really quickly and make this thing look 100 times better. So let's get started. Okay, so we're over here at the buff motor. I have the 1 horsepower dual speed buff motor that I like to use. This is kind of like a workhorse of mine that I use for all sorts of things, from polishing stainless trim to hubcaps to even plastic and things like that. You can use on this depending on the speed compound wheels. So what I have here is a fresh sisal, tightly sewn sisal buffing wheel. So this wheel, why I like to use this for my first series of polishing on a hubcap like this is the sisal wheel is stiff and cuts aggressively when you're trying to take out heavy scratches in a part like a hubcap. The other thing is because it works a little more aggressive, this is a true stainless hubcap, so stainless is a little harder to sand and polish and work, and this is going to cut faster and take out these scratches much quicker than if we just used a standard tightly sewn like cotton wheel. So what I'm going to use first is this gray stainless compound. We're going to start this up and we'll put some compound on here, get this loaded up, and then we will start working the hubcap. And pretty quickly you'll be able to see a lot of these real crazy scratches and swirls that are in this we can get out with this step. Alright, so there was just a real quick one pass, not a lot of time spent, and I knocked this, the major scratches and scuffs got worked out of this thing, and you can see the bottom half of this here is already starting to shine up. You can actually see that there's kind of like a mirror reflection in it, whereas the top is definitely more of a brush finish. You can't get much of a reflection. So what I'm going to do is work the rest of this to get it all at the same point, and then we will go back and do a once over again, just working any areas that maybe I missed. But you can see really quickly how the sisal wheel just takes care of those major scratches and damage really fast using that stainless compound. Alright, so after the sisal wheel and some gray stainless compound, we have a hubcap that is looking really good. Now, I didn't even wipe this off yet. This still has compound residue on it, but I want to show you guys what that looks like basically right off of the wheel. So what I like to do in between steps, for both kind of encouragement to myself and also to make sure that we didn't miss anything, is I like to use some pre on a microfiber. And I use a couple different microfibers throughout the process, but for this demonstration we'll just use this one here and then we'll flip it over. But what I like to do is you wipe it down, take any leftover compound, try and rub it off, and you will pretty quickly see if there's any major spots that you missed or you need to work again. And it is looking pretty good. I mean, it's incredible. Just that one step we could basically stop depending on the car you're putting these on, And you can see the difference after, I don't know, maybe 5-7 minutes on the buffer with the Sissel wheel. We went from this one here on my left, your right, over here to this other one that hasn't been touched, and the difference in shine is incredible. So now after I clean this off, what I'm going to do is jump to a different wheel here. So we're going to jump to our tightly sewn wheel that is a softer material. This is going to cut less and polish more, and we're going to jump to a brown compound here that is still going to be an aggressive cutting compound, but it's not going to be as aggressive as that stainless. And we're going to start taking out more of the scratches out of this, get the mirror finish even a little better. And this process takes probably, I would say, half the time, because we've already gotten the major scratches out. We're just going out and refining it even more. So I'm going to swap this wheel out on this side and see if we can get this thing looking even better. All right, so we got the next step with the tightly sewn wheel and the brown cutting compound, and it is looking even better. Getting pretty darn good now. This wheel, you could spend a little bit of time just getting any little haziness out and cleaning a bunch in between each step. It just depends on how far you want to take it. If you're just doing a driver, steps we're doing pretty quickly are more than adequate, but you can go further and go back into it. Like, there's a couple little tiny scratches right in here that probably I would put the Sissel wheel back on and go back over, and it would take those out and then go back to the tightly sewn wheel. But it just depends how far you want to take it. So as we did before, definitely want to either spray a rag or spray the part down with Pre and wipe it off. Again, I like to use a microfiber rag for all these steps, because standard rags could put scratches in your part, and when you get to this step where it's getting pretty darn shiny, you might actually be going backwards when you wipe the part down with a just red shop rag. It may be aggressive enough that it'll put little tiny scratches in it. So I like using the microfiber, and then we're done this job, we of course wash them and use them for whatever else next time around. So I got this pretty darn clean. So at this step, looking really good. I mean, if I was just setting these up for a swap meet type deal to turn these over and make a couple bucks, you could just do all these to this step. More than adequate, looks really good for a driver. But if we're going to go one step further and get that mirror polish bumped up even further, what we're going to do is go over to the other side of the buffer. I keep my loose sewn wheel here, and then we will use some white rouge polish, and we'll put that on that wheel and go over this, and this will allow us to kind of just get in with this loose sewn wheel. We're able to get into all the nooks and crannies really good, polish everything up really nice, and get that real brilliant mirror shine into this. So this one will probably be about the same amount of time, 5-6 minutes I'll spend on this particular wheel to get this shined up really good, and then we will be good to wipe it down and show you where we're at. All right, so there we have it. After basically 3 simple steps and maybe half an hour's worth of time, I have a hubcap that looks way better than what we started with, and it didn't take a lot of time or labor because we were using the dual speed buffer with the correct wheels and compound combinations to really cut through everything and make the hubcap look so much better. So you can see what we started with on this first hubcap here. Second one looks much better. Obviously, if we were doing a concourse restoration or something very high end, we would probably go back and refine every little dent and issue and wave in the hubcap to make it absolutely perfect. If you're not building an Amelia Island car and you're just a hobbyist like myself, this looks totally acceptable for a car that I would drive around, and it looks great. So you can do this process at home by just getting the buffing motor of your choice, picking out the Sissel wheel, the tightly sewn wheel, and the loose sewn wheel, and then a set of compounds, and you can do this yourself at home in about half an hour a hubcap, give or take. If you want to learn more about any of the buffing products that I used today, you can click the link down below, or you can visit eastwood.com to get all the tools you need to do the job right. Thanks, guys. Catch you later.